I'm here again, doing a vlog. I'm sitting in my car. I have Pringles here, sour cream and onion, and I'm going to talk about the famous filmmaker Woody Allen. He is a celebrity, he's successful filmmaker, and he usually is both an actor and a director and a filmmaker. And he usually, when he plays a role, his character is, for most of the time, an intellectual. That's the typical Woody Allen character. An intellectual person living in a big city is usually anxious. And I have seen a few of his movies. I've seen Annie Hall. It's from the 1970s, and as in most of his movies, it's about relationships. It's a relationship between a man and a woman. So there's lots of talking in that movie because the man and the woman, they are arguing, and I think it's a lot, as I said, lots of talking, but I like the movie. It's somewhat hilarious. Woody Allen, his movies, I think he tries to do serious movies like drama, but I think his movies more like amusing. They're not very dramatic, they're not very serious, although he tries to be serious in his movies, but he tries a little bit too much, so it turns out to be like a travesty. He said that his role model, one of his idols, is Ingmar Bergman, the Swedish director, is dead now. And Allen said that he likes to watch Bergman's movies. Bergman is he made also quite a few movies worth seeing. Like one of the best ones are Fanny and Alexander. But Bergman's movies are dramatic and serious all of the time. There's no humor in there. I like the Fanny and Alexander movie because, especially the scene with the priest, dramatic, like intriguing. You want to continue to see it. You're not laughing. But Allen's movies is like he always wants to portray the intellectual, and it gets too intellectual, so it's sort of humorous instead. I don't know what he wants, what Allen wants with his movies. Does he want them to be comedies or dramas? Like, is it serious or is it a movie where you should laugh? As one scene in the movie Annie Hall, where Allen meets the parents of this woman Annie that he dates, and her parents are looking at him, and they immediately realize that he's a Jew. And in the scene, you can see that Allen turns into an Orthodox Jew in the minds of the parents of this Annie Hall character. So that's quite a funny scene. And Jews, they can tell a joke on their own expense, so they're not like he's not like touchy when it comes to that. And of course, being an intellectual living in the big city, and you're anxious, you have to go and see the psychiatrist. You have to go to the shrink. I don't know if Allen does that in his real life. Wouldn't surprise me. I think that it's psychiatrists are for the rich ones. I mean, if you're poor, you can't afford to go to a psychiatrist. You just drink a beer, you relax, and you get over it. Like, you don't have to complicate everything like some people, intellectuals, do. You have all people have problems in their lives, so you have to cope with them. If you're anxious, what should you do? You relax, listen to some relaxing music. You don't have to smoke cannabis. You don't have to see the psychiatrist to feel better. There are other ways to do that. You can go to YouTube and listen to hypnosis. It's relaxing for you. It's healthy. It's free. So that's Annie Hall. That movie. I saw another movie. It's called Manhattan. It's also from the 70s. And you know, he shot this movie in black and white. It's supposed to be arty. I don't see the purpose of doing that because, okay, if it's a Chaplin movie from the 1920s or 30s, I understand that they shot it in the black and white because there were no other way of doing it. They hadn't invented colors in the movies at that time. So, but if you did a black and white movie in the 70s, it's supposed to look more arty. It's supposed to look more convincing or whatever. I don't get it. Well, anyway, he did the movie. He shot it in black and white. So this movie is about Alan again playing the intellectual middle-aged man living in the big city, and this time he meets a young girl, and the young girl is falls in love with him, and Alan's character tries to prevent that. She's not supposed to fall in love with him. He does not want that. He just wants to be her friend. So in the end of the movie, he just tells her to take off, just leave me. And it's symbolic because in Alan's real life, he lives together with his stepdaughter, who is much younger than him. So obviously that's an issue for him, that he likes to be together with underage or very young women. As a conclusion, I would like to say that Woody Allen makes hilarious, amusing movies, but he tries too hard. He wants to do this intellectual movies. He wants his movies to be on a high level, designed for the academics, for the well-educated people, intellectual movies for intellectual people. But you know, they're not very intellectual. They're only like, he tries too hard, and they become only amusing, like comedies, because he exaggerates a lot in them. And he's not, Ingmar Bergman is not making any serious movies. He cannot do any drama. So I think he has to stay in comedy and play, the anxious, well-educated, rich guy living in the big city. It's like Scenes from a Mall. He's also like well-educated, rich, and anxious. That movie is probably one of his funniest movies, but lots of talk, and he's in a relationship and with this other character played by Bette Midler. I saw that movie. Quite funny. It's not like slapstick. It's not like Chris Farley movie. I fell and that's funny. Yeah. So that's what I think about Woody Allen.